Hey everyone, Greg Capitola with the Himalayan Institute here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Excited to be here to share with you a pranayama practice called Anuloma. It's a practice specifically excited to share with you for a couple reasons. One, maybe the main reason is it's a practice that enables us to more effectively sometimes have a true experience of feeling this energetic aspect of ourselves that we call prana. We hear the term a lot, prana, prana shakti, pranayama, of course. And of course, Anuloma is a pranayama practice. But it's in the category of active pranayamas, as you'll see why in a moment. And because it's an active pranayama involving forceful exhales and slow passive inhales, you'll really get a felt sense for how breathing transforms, and breathing in a vigorous way transforms into your mind being able to really feel it rest in prana, prana shakti, in the Agya chakra, the eyebrow center, center of the forehead, sorry, where we have this, I like to use the term clarity, where when we work with the forehead center, whether that's through more meditative pranayamas or the active pranayama like we'll explore today, it's all in service of us wanting to discover for ourselves that sweetness, that pleasantness that has it right around the center of the forehead that our minds can rest in, not only rest in, but become nourished by and sustained and supported by that feeling of resting in prana shakti. So before we do the practice, let's warm up a little bit. We ought to just kind of warm up the core, especially the navel center region a little bit in the rib cage. So you can just start by doing some simple twists around your spine in this manner, whichever, however much is comfortable for you. I like to sometimes make fists. Just brings a little bit more activation to the arms and kind of brings a little bit more, I don't know, force might be the word, into the twist. But go at your own pace and speed. Just movement's more important than how far deeply you twist. And then you can relax your effort. And it'd be good to open up the side of the body a little bit. So you can inhale your right arm up and overhead, and then exhale, side bend to your left, and then inhale back to center. Inhale the opposite arm, exhale, side bend to your right. Inhale back to center. Just repeat that 3-4 more times. Inhaling the arm up, and then always side bending on the exhale, and really feeling and enjoying that stretch that you're going to feel. And then always inhaling as you come back to center. Inhaling the opposite arm up. Exhaling. You can go at your own pace. If you feel you want to kind of quicken the pace a little bit, that's fine. I'll often do the opposite, and as I come into one side, I'll just kind of hold there a little bit for a breath or two, bend the knees a little bit, kind of play to just really get into the nooks and crannies of my, waist, hip, socket region that need a little bit more attention and opening before I sit for any kind of practice. So up to you there. We'll just do another minute or two of just some. I might look a little goofy on camera. I'm making these goofy little, but it's right where I want to be. It's right at the space that needs the opening. And so you risk looking a little goofy when you work in this way. Just a few more side bends. Okay. Then the last thing we do before we'll come to a sitting position is work with the solar plexus, navel center region a little bit by bending the knees, placing the hands on your thighs. Feet are about a little bit more than hip width distance apart. And you've probably done this many times in, say, a cat stretch. All we'll do is on an exhale, squeeze the abdomen in toward your spine. On an inhale, release. Exhale, just squeezing kind of all of the sides, aspects of your abdomen towards the belly button as you exhale, and then inhale, release. From the side, exhaling, inhaling. It's fine if you find that your exhale takes is a little longer or slower than your inhale. That's totally natural when you work in a abdominal squeeze like this, which is what it is. To give it a proper name, it's called the abdominal squeeze or akunchana prasarana. Anuloma, an active pranayama, part of what makes it active, or the main ingredient that makes it active, as we'll see in a second, is an active exhale, which requires a real strong engagement in the navel center region as you exhale. So you want to take a moment or two to warm up this space. So just a couple more. Good. You'll also feel probably a little bit of a heat generate, a little bit of prana as a result of your abdominal squeezes. So when you're ready, we can come to the floor, come to a comfortable seated position. And it's really important to take the time for you to set up your seated work that you do, to take the time to prop yourself, support yourself in ways that enable you to sit comfortably and in a very stable way. Again, it's true all the time, any kind of seated work you do, but especially true if you're going to explore an active pranayama, any kind of forceful engagement in the abdomen. If you're slouched, you're not going to want that at all. So please take the time to have enough support underneath you so that you can kind of feel held by your seated posture rather than you having to exert muscular effort to hold a certain posture, so that the spine feels nice and long and straight. So let's talk a little bit about the practice before we actually do the practice. Anuloma. It's in the family of 3 active pranayamas: Anuloma, Viloma, Pratiloma. This is usually the first one that we work with in this that family of active pranayamas. Technique-wise, it's very much mirrors Kapalabhati, which you may be familiar with, which is forceful exhales followed by a passive inhale. What we add to that is we close one nostril, kind of almost a little bit of alternate nostril breathing. So it's the exact same technique we talked a little bit about earlier, that forceful engagement through the abdomen on the exhale, but you close one nostril. So what it'll look like, or maybe sound like and look like for you, is now, important thing to note right out of the gates here is it's going to be really good to have some tissue available if you don't already. So we had some tissue nicely tucked away here that I have. So again, technique-wise, your focus, maybe your physical focus, will be on that forceful contraction in the abdomen. And quality is more important than quantity, so try not to have the most forceful exhale that you've had, but rather a measured and controlled exhale in that way. So to say the obvious, it implies that you've got some familiarity with working in this way, maybe some familiarity with Kapalabhati, so which also implies that you're established in diaphragmatic breathing. Usually, you probably want to do a little bit longer practice than we did here so that you're a little bit more warmed up and you're maybe even longer session of Agnisara so that this space is ready. So it's typically not a pranayama practice that's given to beginners. You first get established with yogic diaphragmatic breathing, progress with your asana, breath-aligned movement, work with Agnisara or the abdominal squeeze, and then explore very gently a practice like we'll do today on Anuloma. Again, quality more important than quantity, so we'll do one round today together. And what one round will be is this. We'll forcefully exhale and very passively, slowly inhale through one nostril 3 times, take 3 resting breaths, and then do the second nostril 3 times, take 3 resting breaths, and that's one round, and we'll be done. Now, as I was saying earlier, your awareness, if you're doing it for the first time or still getting used to it, you'll want to be keenly aware of what's happening here, the navel center, that it's a rather than a chest kind of breath. Really important that it really emanates strongly from that strong contraction here. But then you may also, as you're working with the practice, begin to get that feeling, that pleasantness, that experience of the mind kind of, oh, that's prana. That's that pleasant feeling that I'm sensing. And that's great too. And then certainly in between the 3 resting breaths, you're just doing that, taking 3 resting breaths, but you're curious. And your curiosity is, how has that practice, right in that moment after those 3 repetitions, impacted the quality of my mind? Can I sense something different in and around the space at the center of the forehead, the Agya chakra? If it doesn't happen this moment in this time, that's fine. This is not a practice where, oh, we do it once, we gain some benefit, and then we put it on the shelf. It's part of if you're going to explore this, to integrate it into your own practice, and you measure your efficacy or its efficacy, or how you progress over many, many months, weeks and months. So let's do the practice, and then I'll finish with a couple other things. So with a nice, long, stable, comfortable, seated position, you'll inhale through both nostrils, close your left nostril, and then exhale powerfully through the right, and inhale passively 3 times. Then releasing your hand. Your pace may have been a little bit faster, a little bit slower than mine. In any event, just resting your awareness for a few breaths. Sensing the touch of the air at the tips of the nostrils, moving up to the center of the forehead as you inhale. Exhaling, center of the forehead down and out through both nostrils, and just noticing any feeling sensation. Maybe the mind's a little bit less distracted. Maybe the mind can get that taste of resting in that pleasantness of prana shakti, and then we'll do the second side. So again, inhaling through both. This time we'll close the right and forcefully exhale, and then passively inhale 3 times through the left. Begin when you're ready. And again, your speed may have been a little bit slower, maybe a little bit faster. You probably noticed the inhale. My inhale was considerably slower than the exhale, and that's a good thing. Usually you talk about length or equalizing the length of the inhale and the exhale. Well, with this practice, we're not doing that. The exhale is much faster than the inhale. So allowing your mind now to once again just simply rest. And I just like to use that term curiosity. You are exploring for yourself the impact, the change in the quality of your mind. It could be just a feeling sensation that can result from a practice like this. So, where does a practice like this belong in the larger scope of your yoga practice at home? As I said before, usually you're generally going to want to do a little bit more asana, a little bit more movement, a little bit more maybe even solar plexus activation. It can be the case where Anuloma practice like this can precede a more formal meditation that you're working with, whether that's Vishoka meditation or if you're another style of meditation that involves mantra. You can also use, or I should say, weave in a pranayama practice like this skillfully during an asana practice. And therefore, then towards the end of your practice, maybe you're finishing with your relaxation, you come up to a seated position, and then it's mainly maybe some alternate nostril breathing, or you're going right into whatever your meditation practice is. Couple things. This particular practice, there's a wonderful workshop on HI Online by Sandra Anderson, one of our core faculty, on just Anuloma. It covers essentially what we've covered here, but also a longer practice where, as I described, she's weaved in Anuloma into the practice, and she talks much more about some of the benefits of Anuloma. It's also, for those of you who have studied Vishoka meditation, an aspect of the Vishoka meditation self-mastery series, which we'll be offering again, I think in the early spring next year, 2023. So take a look at Sandy's workshop on HI Online. If you're a Vishoki, as we call those who've taken a Vishoka meditation course, and haven't done the self-mastery series, stay tuned for an announcement about another opportunity to take that. And also get in touch with us if you are new to Vishoka meditation entirely and haven't done a Vishoka meditation course. We can get you started on the Vishoka train or practice, as we say. So, thank you for joining me today. And I hope Anuloma gives you clarity, or helps us establish a clarity of mind that we all seek in our lives. Thanks so much.